It is my pleasure to announce, if you missed it, that there is a release candidate 1 for OpenMediaVault 8, complete with a downloadable ISO image. So you don't have to install Debian first to get this installed. So we're going to go through not the installation itself, but the initial steps that I do for setup. So let's take a look at that. We are on the OpenMediaVault login screen, and the default login is admin with a password of OpenMediaVault. We get presented with this screen as a starting point. And right off the bat, there is a notification that updates are available. First things first, let's make a few changes. So we're going to go into our user icon and we're going to first change it to dark mode because that's what I like to use. So to each his or her own. We're going to go to the settings page and we're going to add a few things just so we've got our dashboard or home page set up. I think that will get us where we want to be. And this is generally what I have showing on the home page or dashboard as they call it when I first log in. So we're going to go to updates and we are going to run the 53 updates that are available. And this will take a moment or two to actually complete, but it's relatively quick in the grand scheme of things. Keep in mind, this is not a full release. Don't run this as your production system, but it is usable. It's stable. I've been running the beta for some time now with no issues. The release candidate should be more stable than that has been. The other thing I want to point out is when I install OpenMediaVault, and you can do it however you see fit, I generally install it for testing purposes in a VM, and I make the VM with one disk for the install to happen on, and then after I do the initial updates, I will go back into the VM configuration, add at least 2 extra disks, and then go back and configure those in the web interface. So we'll run through that momentarily and see how it goes. I guess while we're waiting, I can point out that this particular VM has 8 gigs of RAM and it has 6 processor cores. So it's clearly good enough for running a NAS on it for small office or home use. And we've got a system reboot required. So we'll go ahead and restart this just to make sure the updates have completed, and then we'll shut down and install our 2 storage disks. All right, here we go. And we've got no updates available. So at this time, we will shut it down completely. I'll add my disks and we'll come back to the web interface. Okay, we are back after adding not 2, but 3 disks. And so now we're going to go ahead and see about configuring those real quick. So we're going to come down here to storage, to disks, and we can see we now have 3 60 gig disks along with our 40 gig boot drive for the OS. So we are going to go to File Systems. We're going to do Add. We're going to do ButterFS. We are going to do RAID 1, and we're going to do all 3 disks. And save that. All right. So we have now got that done. Select File System is going to be the ButterFS. Save. And we are going to say apply and yes. So we have 177.98 gigs free. It is mounted, but it is not referenced. All right, so then we need to move on to shared folders. We can add a shared folder. For this, we will just call it demo. Select the file system. And the defaults here for the folder privileges are fine. Save, apply, yes. If we look back at file systems, we now see that it is referenced. So in shared folders, this is not referenced. Why is that? Well, we need to go into services and CIFS SMB. Well, we need to enable our service and apply that. All right. So minimum protocol version, SMB2. You can change that to SMB3 if you've got all newer devices on your network. SMB2 is a decent starting point for a default. So it is browsable. We don't have home directories enabled, but that isn't a bad thing to do if you want to for some situations. So we've got the service enabled, but if you look under SMB CIFS, we've been in settings. We need to go to shares, and nothing really happens until you've added a share. So we're going to say demo on dev SDA, and we are going to say save and apply that. Yes. Okay, so we've got this set up, but we don't have any users. So we want to add a user here, and I'm going to just add one called demo and set a password, and we'll save and apply this. Okay, so now we come over to a fresh screen. We can open up our Windows app, and we'll go to our B-Link. All right, so now we can just go right to File Explorer. Well, let's just do it this way. OMV8 RC1, and our username is demo, and our password, and we have our demo folder, and we could put a text document in it, just a blank text document. All right, so that's all and good. And so now we will quit out of that. And on the Mac, Command K opens up the Connect to Server dialog. You can also access that through the Go menu and go to Connect to Server, which has the shortcut Command K. We need our IP address, which is 120. Connect. Our user is demo, and the password. And we are connected. It puts the drive on the desktop. We can see our text file that was created on the Windows machine. We can create a text file in here ourselves. Well, actually, we'll just create a folder in here called Mac. And then I will just take some files on my desktop and I'll drag them into the Mac folder on that NAS. All is good. We can go back to our dashboard and we can see that we've still basically used 0% of our 177.98 gigabytes of free space. And yeah, that's your basic quick setup of OpenMediaVault 8 release candidate 1. So hopefully people might find this useful just to manage expectations. OpenMediaVault 8 is going to be 64-bit only. Many of the quote-unquote new features that were originally slated for OpenMediaVault 8 are in fact, or have in fact been deployed in OpenMediaVault 7. So you probably won't see any big new features that are just related to OpenMediaVault 8, probably, I would guess, until 8.1. So it is what it is, right? In future videos, because, hey, we are going to keep this going and we will keep updating this as we move closer to a full release, which I would expect no later than mid-January at the rate they're going. The beta was released right around Thanksgiving time, so I would expect in January we'll have the full 8.0 release. I'm going to keep this running. I'm going to keep testing. I'm going to make a few additional videos and hopefully be able to answer some questions as we move forward on this OpenMediaVault 8 adventure. So if you've got questions or comments, leave them down below. I will try to answer them. The one caveat is I am not affiliated with the OpenMediaVault project. I am not tech support for them. If you have questions, you are going to be better served and more quickly served by going to their forums, by going to Reddit. You can ask here. Perhaps somebody in the community will answer. I am going to take a little bit of a step back from answering specific questions about the software that I am covering. So take that for what it is. I would love to hear what you think about OpenMediaVault 8, but again, I am not looking to be your tech support for this product. I think that's a good place to stop for today. We will look into some of the other features and perhaps some of the other services for sharing space on the NAS in future videos, as well as potentially integrating it with Proxmox and, just see where things go from there. If you have something that you would like to see covered in a video, please leave it in the comments. I am open to suggestions, but these videos are provided with no charge to you, so keep it civil. And if I didn't cover something, make a kind suggestion that I cover it. But being super demanding that I cover something is a good way to get yourself banned from the channel. So on that note, I will see you in the next video.